What's up? I'm on my way. I'm just getting everything ready for you guys. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Rocky, and I'm live here on the Off Script channel. I'm your man. This is another episode upon further review. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. You could be doing anything this evening, but you're here with me, and we're talking sports. I want to thank you for coming on today. You know, Sunday was the big day. Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday, and I got a lot to talk about here. I want to encourage you guys to call in as soon as I find the call-in number to put it up. I want to definitely encourage you guys to call in. I also want to encourage you to make a comment. Please like the stream. Please like the stream when you get a chance, man. This is my 1, 2, 3. I think this is my third episode, man. I am thoroughly enjoyed it, man. And I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to have another great show today. I want to thank Scotty for giving me this opportunity and trusting me with his audience, man. You know, in the off script tradition, this is going to be interactive, man. This is going to be as much about you as it is me. I really want your feedback, and I really want your comments. It says, anyone win any money this weekend? Let me see. Did anyone win any money? Hey, baby, did anybody win any money this weekend? No, nobody won any money this weekend, unfortunately. Again, yeah, we're going to try to focus. Hey, I want to wish everybody happy Valentine's Day. I hope your Valentine's Day was filled with as much love and appreciation and gifts as my wife's was. You know what I mean? I did receive a Valentine's Day gift as well. I got some really tight sneaks, so I want to thank her for being so kind and generous. I received some sneakers. If you guys want to receive the sneakers, I'll even show them to you. They're pretty nice. They go with it's a certain outfits that I like to wear on Sunday, and these shoes go with those outfits. So I want to thank you, man. You got to always show appreciation to the people you love. I want to remind you guys of that, man. If there's somebody who loves and shows you appreciation, man, you got to make sure that you show them appreciation each and every day, not just on Valentine's Day. I just want to let y'all know, not just on Valentine's Day, each and every day. That's a little tip from your Uncle Rocky. If you want your relationship to thrive and flourish, make sure that you show appreciation to the people that you love and don't take them for granted. All right, next up. I really want to get into this, man. I want to really recap this game, man. It was an exciting game. Both teams, I think, played well. It was definitely high scoring. The first Super Bowl to feature 2 African-American quarterbacks. And I don't know if y'all, I wish I had the video up where I could show y'all. Now we want to say that Patrick Mahomes is actually he's biracial, but if you ever seen his daddy talk, if you ever seen his daddy get on the mic, I was that Joe Burrow, If you ever seen his daddy, you know that it's more than 50% black in Patrick Mahomes, if you know what I mean. Because this time, that's what he said when he beat Cincinnati. I'm smoking that Joe Burrow. You know, this week after the game, I'm smoking that Philly blunt. This is that Philly blunt I'm smoking. You know what I mean? And so he's a real character, man. And it was really cool to see him and his dad celebrate. But I just wanted to mention that, man. If you get a chance, go look up the video of Patrick Mahomes' father, and he got some really interesting clips, man, and really funny clips, man. It was fun watching those guys, watching him celebrate or whatever. So we got somebody was lucky enough to win $300. Bobby Calhoun won $300, man. Bobby, that's good. I didn't fare so well. And since since that's the case, man, we might as well get into my picks, man. So let me just go ahead and start going through this. All right. I want y'all to know that my picks, even with the Super Bowl, I'm 4-3. I'm 4-3. That's 57%. Professional gamblers are only about 56%, anywhere from 53 to 56%. Your boy's running at 57%, so I'm better at this point than professional gamblers. So, baby, you think I can make a living gambling? Okay, all right. So she voted no. But anyway, I'm better than professional gamblers, and so I just want you guys to know that. Remember, these picks are what? For entertainment purposes only. This is not for you to go out and invest your retirement plan, go out there and try to bet your rent money or anything like that. These are for entertainment purposes only, and I want to make sure that you guys know that. But if you happen to place one of my bets and you win a little change, holla at your boy. Let's get into the game, man. Because this game, I picked Philly, as you guys know. I thought Philly had the better team. I thought they had the better. I thought they had the better overall team. I realized that Patrick Mahomes was the better quarterback. I realized that Andy Reid was a better coach. But I thought overall the better offense, the better defense, and the special teams were all Philly. And I was wrong about it because You think the game was stolen? I'm not going to say that. We're going to get to that. I don't think the game was stolen, but there was some funny business going on, and we'll get to that later. All right, but this is what I want to say, right? Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, first Super Bowl featuring two black quarterbacks. It was an amazing Super Bowl. It was filled with a lot of action, a lot of offense, a lot of big plays. Early on, I thought Philly dominated the game. I thought the defense was able to stop Patrick Mahomes, get him off the field. I thought the offense was able to drive the ball, keep Pat Mahomes off the field. I thought they were working a marvelous game plan. And then my man, Jalen Hurts, the ball slips out of his hand, scooped up by the linebacker, and is ran in for a touchdown. That kind of put the game back in play. At that point, I thought the game was really going to get away from Kansas City. I thought the game was really about to get away from Kansas City, and unfortunately for Jalen Hurts and my money, he fumbled the ball at that point. But that really only brought them within 7. They were up by 14. That brought them within 7. And so at the end of the day, I still thought Philly had control of the game with a 7-point lead. But it gave, at that point, Kansas City had just enough. They were close enough. They were within striking distance of the Eagles again, and that just kept them in the game. And that, and the Eagles got a field goal lead in the halftime. And so at the end of the day, the game was much tighter at halftime than it should have been. It should have been 7-28, 7-24, and it ended up being, again, 14-24, and that gave, that gave Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs just enough hopes to keep them in the game. Let me see what we got. What kind of comments we got here? See what my man says. He says, Stephen Campbell, I want some of that money on the under bets, some stats. All right, somebody over there wants some money from Bishop Campbell. Bishop Campbell, do you have any money? You giving out money? If you are giving out money, I'll send you my cash app here shortly. Again, let me get to the first half of the game. The first half, I thought the Eagles dominated other than that fumble. I thought they dominated. Kansas City went in at halftime, regrouped, while Rihanna was out there killing it. I know a lot of y'all did. I usually don't watch the halftime, but the venue where I was, they showed the halftime. I was really impressed with Rihanna's performance and her baby reveal, the reveal of her pregnancy. So I thought it was a nice, a very good performance. You know, it wasn't Beyonce's performance. Let me say that. It wasn't Beyonce's performance, but I don't think, you know, in my opinion, nothing compares to Beyonce. You know, and I didn't expect Rihanna to put on a performance that rivaled Beyonce's performance. But I think she did good. It was entertaining. And overall, you know, she did her thing. She did more than, you know, considering, I don't know how many months pregnant she is, but she was very pregnant, and she went out there and performed and did one heck of a job, in my opinion. Let me see, what does this say? This guy said, hold on tight. Pat used PEDs for PEDs, NFL investigation. All right, so you bring up a really good point. Patrick Mahomes went in at halftime, hobbled. Just before the half, the last drive that KC had the ball at halftime, he actually got that ankle tweak. And I thought he was going to cry right there on the field. I thought he was going to shed a tear. But he was able to get up, get off the field. They looked at it. And by halftime, he was, you know, he limped in at halftime. But when he was coming out, he had some pep in his step after coming out of halftime. He definitely had some pep in his step. His team went down and they scored a touchdown. And that really, at that point, you knew that the game was on. You knew that the game was on, man, and you knew it was a situation where Philly was going to have to simply hold off the Kansas City Chiefs, man. It was a close game coming down the wire. Jalen Hurts made plays. Patrick Mahomes made plays, not only with his arm, but he made plays with his legs, man. And so at the end of the day, it was an exciting finish. And this is what I want to say. Where was the vaunted Philly pass rush? What happened to their pass rush? The sack masters. They didn't get no sacks. They didn't even pressure Patrick Mahomes. They got close to him enough for him to maneuver around and run up the field. He had some big runs avoiding the scramble, man, avoiding the rush. Man, they weren't able to really, when you think about it, they weren't able to lay a hand on him. And that really, to me, that was the one thing that surprised me in this ball game. I thought for sure the Philly defense would have been able to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, make him rush him throws, make him, really touch him up. But they weren't. They didn't get one sack on him. And I don't really, other than the tackle on the scramble, I don't remember one significant hit that they had on him. So with the quality of quarterback that Patrick Mahomes is, I mean, you can't just give him that kind of time. And he's gonna hurt you. He's definitely gonna hurt you. Now the other deal about it is that I heard some Philly players complain about the footing. The reason why they weren't able to rush as well is because of the footing, the field. The field was in bad shape. It may have looked good, but there were guys slipping from the start to the finish of the game. There were guys slipping all over the place. And again, that slippery field could have affected the pass rush, because on a slippery field, where the turf gives away easy, you don't get a chance to go to a counter move. You have your first move, and if you don't beat the guy on your first move, there's no way for you to counter back because the ground is going to give on change of direction. Now that also, that helps, on the other side, that helps wide receivers as well. It helps them get loose on routes or whatever. Because again, if they're able to stay on their feet, they're able to, maybe create some separation with the defensive backs because of slips and stuff like that. But it seemed like it didn't favor the DBs or the wide receivers. However, but the defensive line, the Philly defensive line, they weren't able to do jack, man. They didn't get any sacks. They were a no-show, in my opinion. They were a complete no-show. But this is one thing that I did want to mention. Like, everybody is championing Patrick Mahomes for his performance, how great he was. I've heard some people say he's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. They're putting him in that pantheon of great quarterbacks with the Bradys, with the Rodgers, with the Joe Montanas. They're already putting him in that level based on the performance that he had on Sunday. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, the real star of that game was Jalen Hurts. When you look at what he did in that game, he was 27 for 38 for 304 yards, 15 carries for 70 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Think about this. The rest of the Eagles had about 50 yards total offense that Jalen Hurts wasn't a part of. Like, he was literally their entire offense. The Eagles weren't able to run the ball with their running backs. He literally, if they didn't have Jalen Hurts, that game, it wouldn't have been competitive. And so when you look at him having to carry his team, right? In my opinion, his performance outshined Patrick Mahomes. Completely outshined Patrick Mahomes. That's my opinion. But you cannot deny that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid put together a great game plan, especially in the red zone. They were highly effective in the red zone on 2 third downs and mediums. They were able to outwit the Philadelphia defense, and they were able to find wide open wide receivers in the flat, man, and they were able to find the weakness and get in the end zone. So to me, that was a tremendous play calling, and Patrick Mahomes, was able to execute. In my opinion, he was not better than Jalen Hurts. Patrick Mahomes just happened to win the game. And because of that awful penalty that was called, Jalen Hurts didn't get a chance to come back and win the game. Because I honestly believe that had Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles got a chance to go back on the field, they were going to drive it right down and score again, provided they had enough time. But that call, that holding, which I thought was a tug or maybe even a gentle hug, didn't affect Juju's route. It didn't slow Juju down. It didn't cause any disruption in the route. And the ball was literally thrown out the back of the end zone. It should not have been called. Matter of fact, at the end of the day, the contact was behind the line of scrimmage and definitely within the first 5 yards. Within the first 5 yards, within the first 5 yards, you can make contact with the defensive back, can make contact with the wide receiver. I think it was a bad call. I think it was, when you talk about the letter of the law, was it holding? Absolutely. If you talk about the letter of the law, it was definitely holding. But when you talk about what it was a critical point in the game. It was a critical point in the game, and you don't decide the Super Bowl on a call like that, in my opinion. In my opinion, you don't decide the biggest game of the year. You don't decide the biggest game of the year on a call like that. So let me get this. Let me get the number up right quick. Hold on. Let me get this connected, guys. Give me a minute. You don't decide the biggest game on the biggest game of the year on a call like that, man. I think it is. I think the refs denied us a great finish. You know, I'm not guaranteeing that Jalen Hurts would have won. I'm not guaranteeing that, best case scenario, maybe they kick the field goal. Jalen Hurts drives down, kicks the field goal, ties the game. We go into overtime. We get to see bonus football. You know, that would have been the best case scenario. But because of that call, we were robbed of a great finish. We were robbed. How do you guys feel? Do you feel like we were robbed of a great finish? What do you guys think about that phone call? I mean, think about that that call. What am I talking about? Y'all see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to set up this call-in line. I want y'all to bear with me for a second while I do this. All right. What is that, baby? What'd you say, my love? Oh, I should still be talking. Yeah, okay. My producer said I should still be talking. But you know how hard it is for me to do two things at once? Oh no, this is the wrong one. Let me see. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get my stuff set up, bro. All right, here we go. We're about to get it going. I appreciate you guys' patience, man. This is one thing I really admire about Scotty. He able to run this whole board and everything by himself without a glitch. He can talk and get this and have this stuff going. I'm not as talented as Scotty, obviously, because like me trying to get in here and do stuff, man, it damn near shuts me down trying to do two things at one time. I guess I'm slow, man. You, hey, baby, don't be mean now.
You are the only participant in the conference.
All right. Hey, I want to thank you guys for being patient. I got everything up now. So if you guys would like to call in, I am accepting callers. So if you give me your input on the Super Bowl, what you thought about the game, what you thought about that call, I really want to see what you guys thought about that actual call. Like I say, I thought the call, again, like I said at the beginning, the letter of the law, yes, it was a hold. It was a grab. He did pull the jersey. But did he really impede the guy's route? Did he stop him from going right to left? Did he stop him from getting into his route? Did the guy break stride? No, he didn't. He was able to go through his route. He used his hands to just stay close to the wide receiver. He didn't use his hands to impede him. And was it a hold? No. Was it a tug, a slight tug? Absolutely it was. Absolutely it was a slight tug. But again, that to me, that's football. That's football. And the crazy thing about it is the guy who had the referee who had the best view of it didn't make the call. The referee that was all the way in the backside of the end zone, that's who made the call. He was actually calling outside of his assigned area. Though he didn't have, to be honest with you, he didn't have any other players in his area. He didn't have any routes coming in his area other than that one. But where the actual holding occurred was not his area, and he should not made that call. He absolutely should not made that call. But let me keep it pushing. Yeah. My wife, who is a Bengals fan, says, is that the same call that decided the Bengals game? And I'll say, I'm gonna say no comment. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that was a different situation. I think that call was much more egregious, but let me get back into it. So next up, I want to talk about this. I'm a big-time NBA fan, and now that LeBron is on the Lakers, I am a Lakers fan. You know, full disclosure, I am a LeBron fan. I followed him from from high school to Cleveland to Miami, back to Cleveland, and to LA. I'm a LeBron fan, and I he's my guy. Not only for what he is as a basketball player, but for what he is as a person. We can argue about him being, is he the GOAT? Is he the best player on the court? We can argue about that. But when you talk about the man himself, to play 20 years, to play 20 years in the NBA, been a star ever since the age of 16, and not have one hiccup, one issue, one problem, one embarrassment, anything. The worst thing that people say he did was have an interview that gave the Boys and Girls Club of I want to say Akron $5,000, and they say the decision was the worst decision he ever made, but which the decision was actually a charity event. That's what the decision was. It was a way for him to get money to give to the Boys and Girls Club. So again, he's been a great ambassador of sports. He's top one or two on the court, but in my mind, he's number one, no doubt. So that's my guy. LeBron is my guy. And the old Lakers, I didn't think I had no confidence that they were going to be able to make any moves to improve the team at the trading deadline. I didn't have any confidence. I was hoping that, honestly, that Anthony Davis would get healthy. LeBron will continue to be dominant as he has been in his 20th season. And also, I was hoping that Russell Westbrook was settled into his role and actually get better at his role. That's what I was hoping, that he would get better at coming off the bench or whatever. And at some point they would come together, gel, create the chemistry that would allow them to compete for a title or at least get in the playoffs. And again, that was wishful thinking on my part. But the Lakers organization made a move. They most definitely made a move. And in my opinion, they made good moves. They made really good moves, in my opinion. They got rid of Bryant, who I think was an up-and-coming player, but with AD coming back, he didn't really have a role. Westbrook is a good player. He's high energy, all these things, but he doesn't play with the basketball IQ, in my opinion, that gives you a chance to win. I like him as a player, but he doesn't play with the intelligence and the savvy that gives your team a win. He's out there playing like the Tasmanian devil. I don't know if any of y'all watch cartoons or anything like that, but that's one of the few cartoons that I did watch growing up, and it was the Tasmanian Devil. And so, again, it was a situation where Westbrook just wasn't a good fit, man. He just wasn't a good fit for the team. He didn't. He wasn't able to gel. He often, when they had great chemistry on the court, when he would come in the game, he would disrupt the chemistry. Man, it was just a bad fit. You know, I'm not the kind of person that's gonna do the things like Skip Bayless doing, call him Russell Westbrook and all those kind of things. Because I think he's a really good player. Matter of fact, I think he's a Hall of Fame player. And with the effort he plays with is commendable. The effort he plays with is commendable. However, we just did not get the results on the court. And for that reason alone, Lakers had to make a decision. They decided to move on from Westbrook. And I agree with that decision. And my man, Patrick Beverley, I was, like I say, Pat Bev, I was glad to see you go because you didn't bring very much to the table, man. I appreciate your attitude, whatever that means. You got to be able to play, man. I like your attitude. I like your grittiness, bro, but you got to be able to play. And he just wasn't able to do much for the Lakers. I don't know what it was. He wasn't able to make shots. He wasn't able to, he just wasn't impactful as a player for the Lakers. And so, in my opinion, it was time for him to go. It was definitely time for him to go. And they brought in what I thought were some really good players. I think the players they brought in were really good, and they will fit better. D'Angelo Russell, I think he's a shooter. He shoots better than Westbrook. He shoots better than Beverly. So, boom. Then you got that Ryu Haracha. He shoots better than either one of those guys as well. Mo Bamba, I'm interested to see how he's gonna fit. I'm interested to see how he's gonna fit. And then Schroeder, to me, has been picking up his game and he's improved. So I look forward to the Lakers improving. I look forward to them getting at least in contention for the playoffs. Please tell me what you think about it. If you want to call, if you have your own opinions, let me know. And this is something I want to bring up, right? Now, many people say that LeBron brought this team together. He brought Westbrook. He traded for Anthony Davis, brought in Westbrook. How much blame does LeBron get for this failed Lakers team, for this team that was not effective and is currently sitting in 14th place? Let me say that again. Currently, they're in 14th place. So how much blame should LeBron get for the outcome of the Lakers, the Lakers record right now? How much blame should he get? In my opinion, he should get very little. Let me tell you why. Because if you look at the numbers that he's putting up, right, in his 20th season, he's far and away exceeding any expectation that anybody should have for a 38-year-old player. Points, rebounds, assists. He's playing great. He's playing great. He's averaging 30 or almost 30 points. He bringing in 6 to 8 rebounds and making 6 to 8 assists a game. I mean, he's doing everything you would want to ask a player to do at his age or at any age. Shit, 30 points at any age, you will accept that. But with it being LeBron, he's doing everything he's supposed to. The fact that AD cannot stay healthy, you can't put that on LeBron. Westbrook, if you look at his track record as a player, you bring him on. If you just get the production that he got in the past, he should have been effective on the team. In my opinion, now a lot of people are saying, they supposedly they had the opportunity to bring in Buddy Hield or Russell Westbrook. But at the end of the day, if you compare those two players, the production that Russell Westbrook gives you far outweighs anything that Buddy Hield has done up to this point. And so, of course, you want Westbrook just based on the production that he has provided when he was in Oklahoma, in Houston, Washington. You thought he was going to be able to come in and be a major contributor, also cut back some of the minutes that LeBron was playing, all this kind of stuff there. And I understood why LeBron wanted Westbrook, but for whatever reason, Westbrook was not effective. And he couldn't find a way to fit on this team. He really couldn't find a role that he could thrive in. I put that on Westbrook. I put AD not being able to stay healthy on AD. The fact that Westbrook couldn't find a way to make a positive contribution on the team, I put that on Westbrook. And the rest of the roster, you put that on Pelinka. You put that on Pelinka, the general manager. And then, of course, everything like LeBron, in my opinion, that he brought both tangibly and intangibly was a major contribution. And so I just think you can't blame LeBron. Hey, caller, you're live on the air with Rocky. What's your name and who you talk and where you calling from? Caller, you live on the air with Rocky. All right, we had a caller, and now we don't have a caller. All right, guys. All right. So I just wanted to bring that up. How much blame do you put on LeBron? Let me see what my man said. My man G. Wayne says LeBron just to hold this because Westbrook was never going to work. LeBron made the deal. Okay. I don't see how you said this never was going to work, G. Wayne. At the end of the day, LeBron was playing 36 to 40 minutes. They wanted to bring a player that would cut back some of those minutes that LeBron was playing. They want to cut him back to around 30 to 32 minutes. Hey, caller. Caller, you're live on the air. This is Rocky. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Rocky? This is Monty.
What's up, Monty?
Hey, man. You know, you talking my language tonight. I'm a true Laker fan here. And, you know, the blame being on LeBron, one of the things that you kind of know for LeBron is that you don't really like young players or guys that's needing to really develop. You know, it's interesting for the Lakers for us to get D'Angelo Russell back, you know, because he was a good player then. But, you know, when Magic came in, he had to clear him out from that personal situation that happened. And so I think we are getting a better player because he did move around some. But when you notice, he don't really do a lot with young players coming in. That's why I find it interesting. He wanted to stay playing to play with his son, but throughout his career, he really haven't done that with any guys that's been, you know, coming out of college or rookies. He tend to, you know, kind of trade them off and try to get the veteran guys.
Hey, but Monty, you do understand why he would want to play with his son in the NBA, right?
Yeah, I understand it. The only problem is that he already got enough. You know, we always talking about this pressure now, so we already got the pressure coming in with the name, and then it's like, well, how much will his son really shine if he's still there? You know, as long as LeBron is going to be there, then you know, I think he'll be able to teach him better. You know, if he's done and be able to work with him more direct, but it's gonna be interesting, you know, if his son does make it to the league, which I think somebody gonna draft him because, you know, if the Lakers still don't have LeBron, whoever does pick his son up, we can expect that's what he's gonna play for at least a year.
Monty, I got a couple questions for you as a true Laker fan, right? As a true Laker fan, I want to ask you a question. Do you consider LeBron a true Laker?
I consider him a true Laker because, you know, he came back. He did come to the Lakers when we had been down and out after Kobe, and you know, revived the Lakers some. You know, I still count that championship in the bubble because to me that was anybody's game. You had no distractions, so really it was straight street ball. Your 5 against my 5. And we know LeBron always stayed ready, which he's shown throughout his career. And it's kind of funny. That was the healthiest AD has been. I thought us getting AD and when LeBron got him, that he would be, working out or picking up some from LeBron. It's amazing that out of all the NBA players, how much he spends on himself. And I don't understand why guys don't try to take on that same mindset, spend $1 million and still continue making 30, 40 million or becoming a billionaire while you're already playing. To me, it's
I think taking care of your body is not just the money, right? When you talk about taking care of your body, it's a time commitment as well, Monty. Like it's a time commitment to go get those massages, go get those treatments, go do those workouts year round. To me, that's the biggest deal. The money that, LeBron is worth $1 billion. At the end of the day, him having that time commitment it's not like he's just taking a pill every morning and investing in his body. He's going to treatment. He probably has a regimen that he goes through. He had, you're talking workout, nutrition, and treatments. So that probably consumes a lot. That's a lifestyle when you think about it, Monty. It's not just, it's not a quick fix solution. It's a lifestyle. And how many of these guys are willing to commit to a lifestyle that would allow them to, invest $1 million in their body? But again, I think you're right. Everyone in that position should do that, for longevity's sake and their overall health. The last question I wanted to ask you, though, Monty, is this. You're an all-time you're a Laker fan, right?
Yep.
Take Jordan out of it. Let's, for goodness sake, say he's the GOAT, right? And I want to ask you, who's next, Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe.
All right. Hey, thank you for calling, Monty. I appreciate it, man. We got another call on the line. I appreciate you calling in for your support, my brother.
Yep.
Caller, you're live on the air with Rocky. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, what's up, Rocky? Hey, man, I'm calling you from Georgia, man. I'm dog.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I just wanted to chime in. Of course, the whole United States felt that call was out of place. It was clearly you should have called me. I chose Kansas City not because it was a better team, because it was a better storyline. You must understand the way the NFL works. It works through storylines. They create their heroes and their villains. It ain't football the way you think.
You say
now,
they stick
talking to a man that played.
They write a script. Is that what you're saying?
No,
I'm just.
I said that they choose their heroes and their villains. And football, once you leave high school, is not football anymore. Now, maybe Division I, maybe Division II, and maybe the SWAC and the MEAC and that type of league, maybe it's a little bit of football. But when you get closer to the Celebration Bowl and those, I think Prime showed you that he cashed in his ticket and made money. Okay. That was the only time he was able to make money in a defense that gave up so less points, get to the Celebration Bowl, give up a gazillion points. Think about Jackson State and think about Philadelphia Eagles defense. Just close your eyes and think. And you tell me the whole season, and then it gets to one game. Now, what is that mind telling you? What is God telling you when you close your eyes? Philadelphia Eagles defense and Jackson State defense in the Celebration Bowl. They both have glaring similarities.
Well, I'll say this. I'm going to say this. I know from watching football long enough, if you get 2 weeks to prepare for a game, you get a chance to watch all the film from the entire season from the defense. you can find a weakness in a defense, just like you can find a weakness in the offense. You can find ways to isolate players and take advantage of things that defenses do. If you can predict what defense they're going to be in certain situations, you can predict that. Now, when you talk about, and I'll entertain this, when you talk about Jackson State, when you really break down Jackson State, is that Trey Oliver had a great scheme with the right personnel to really go at Jackson State. We saw Campbell try to do the same thing that Trey Oliver did. They just, they just weren't able to. They just weren't able to pass the ball as effective as Trey Oliver was. But they had the running quarterback. They had the guy who was elusive, the trigger man, and again, they had a great plan. But you have to understand, they got a month to get everybody back. They were completely healthy, right? And they had a whole month to prepare for that game. Not to mention the level of disrespect they were subject to by not only Prime and the entire HBCU community, because really, the Celebration Bowl this year was supposed to be just a celebration of how, Prime's contribution to HBCU football. It was it was a coronation of the Jackson State program, and Trey Oliver them was not having no parts of it. And I'm talking about from start to finish, they came there ready to play. You can put it on Jackson State's defense, sure enough, right? But you also got to realize that the North Carolina defense also played well, in my opinion. It just it was just Shador, Travis Hunter. They're great players, and they were able to create some plays and keep the game close and eventually tied and get into overtime. Man, it was a great game, man. I'm not a real big.
Let me ask you this.
I'm not a real big conspiracy theorist.
I'm not either. I'm just telling you. I'm not either. I'm speaking facts. Jackson State, okay, compared to North Carolina, which team had the best talent?
I think Jackson State had the best talent. They had the best talent. But you gotta realize. Hold up. Let me say this.
I gave you a chance to speak, brother.
No, but let me tell you.
Let me share something.
No, let me tell you about talent, though. You got to realize you only can play 11 at a time. A lot of Jackson State's talent, when you talk about being talent rich, they had duplications of the same players. They may have had more overall talent, but you only can play 11 at a time. So those 3 stars and 4 stars that backed up those 3 stars and 4 stars, you can't play those guys because you only can play 11 at a time. And then when I watched the game, when I saw 11 on 11, there was not a talent mismatch. There may have been a depth mix match, but depth comes throughout. When you talk about depth plays itself out through the course of a season.
So let me
during
ask
the course
you this,
of
Dan.
one game, I don't know how important depth is. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. 22. You said offense 11, defense 11. On both of the teams at the Celebration Bowl, which team had the most talent?
Again, I'll say Jackson State had the most overall talent. Yes.
Okay. Now, that's okay. So now, do you think bad coaching can cause good players to lose a game? Bad coaching, NFL, college football. Do you think bad? Okay, let me rephrase it. Let's say you got the best coaches in the world, Nick Saban. Give Nick Saban Colorado last year. Would they win? Or Kirby Smart, because they won a national championship. So Kirby Smart and his staff take the players that at Colorado, would they have won the national championship?
No, they would not have. No.
Okay. So let me finish. Georgia talent with the Colorado coaches. Do you think they would have made the college football playoff?
No, because I think in college football. Hold on. Let me explain that. Let me explain that.
Georgia talent.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me say this.
Georgia talent with Tennessee coaches.
Okay, I'm gonna pot you down because you talking over me. So when I'm talking, remember this is my show. So when I'm talking, I'm gonna ask you to be quiet. I don't want you to out talk me. You're gonna get a chance to say everything you want to say, right? But when I'm talking, I'm gonna need you to listen, even if it's in the middle of you talking, because we got people have tuned in to listen to me. And again, I want to be able to speak, and I don't want to try to overtalk you in order to talk. Now, again, this is what I want to say. Coaching in college football is 50% of success. It's 50% of the success of a team. You see teams all the time who are uberly talented, like Texas A&M. They set a record for 4 and 5 stars. They had all kinds of NIL deals. They lined up and got their butts kicked the whole season because it's coaching matters. Coaching matters. Now I'll let you go ahead and continue, bro.
Some of the greatest coaches that ever lived will tell you talent wins championships, not coaching. So my point with the Philadelphia Eagles, they had the most talent. I was trying to get somewhere. The Philadelphia Eagles, Jackson State had the most talent. But doesn't it seem quite strange that the Philadelphia Eagles defense did not even show up? You could have taken the last ranked defense in the NFL and gave a better performance.
Well, again, you say they didn't show up, but let's think about it. The Eagles only gave up really 340 yards in total offense. Patrick Mahomes only passed the ball for 182 yards. So I'm not going to say they didn't totally show up. What I'm saying is, when you talk about the pressure that the Eagles were able to generate all season, the pass rush that they were able to generate all season, they weren't able to generate it on Sunday. And that's peculiar to me.
Sacks.
Yes.
78 sacks. You mean to tell me they can't even get Patrick Mahomes? As a matter of fact, if you watch the game, I saw when they had the end not even rushing. Listen, man, what I'm trying to tell you is that it ain't about the teams. And Jalen Hurts will get his payout because he handled it well. The payout for the defensive coordinator, they already got their head coaching job. But what they did to my man Eric Bieniemy is a sin under football. It's the most egregious, but because other black coaches in the NFL will not throw games for owners, because that's what it comes down to. Nobody really want to tell the people the truth. See, if I can't trust you to throw a game, and this ain't me making this up, the head coach that got fired in Miami told you. The coach that got fired in Phoenix. Black men have integrity, and they refuse to throw a game like Philadelphia Eagles defense did.
Hey, I'm noticing that too, Stephen Campbell. Let me say this, buddy. Like, at the end of the day, there are a lot of reasons why black coaches don't get opportunities, right? I think one reason why black coaches don't get opportunities because 31 of the owners are white, and those white owners, a lot of them have white friends, and they grew up in white communities, and they have and the people they hang around is white. And in order to trust somebody outside your culture with something with your $2-3 billion franchise, I think you have to have a comfort level with that person. And I don't think many black men can make those owners feel as comfortable as they should be or need to be, right? Because again, that's the situation. It's a systemic issue, right? Eric Bieniemy's issue is I want to set him aside and make it. It's not in my opinion, it's not at this point. It's not a black coaching issue for Eric Bieniemy. For Eric Bieniemy, it's an Eric Bieniemy.
He won't throw the game.
Hold up.
He won't throw the game.
Hold up. Eric Bieniemy.
You got to understand.
Hold up. Eric Bieniemy's issue is an Eric Bieniemy issue. Like, he's had 5 or 6 different interviews with 5 or 6 different organizations that eventually hired black coaches. So again, there's enough racism around in our community, in our country, to point it out. But sometimes it's not racism. Sometimes it's the person. And when you say there are black men always have integrity, that's not true. When you say black men are always forthright and honest, that's not true. When you say black men won't throw games, that's not true. There are black men that are out that will do whatever a white man asks them to do. And in part, that's why our community is in the situation it is in right now. Because there are lots of black men and women that will do whatever somebody tells them for some money. So I'm gonna let you wrap up, man, and then I'm gonna move on, brother.
Basically, you said you didn't win any money, but every time Tom Brady was to win a Super Bowl, all his teammates said the week of the practice of the Super Bowl, he would come in and he would act a certain way. They already know how this thing gonna end. It's all about the billions and all the money that is made on betting. And I promise you, Eric Bieniemy had his past, but he's a good Christian dude. And there are certain things he won't do that a lot of coaches that get these jobs, they get D coordinator for 1 year, and next thing you know, they're a head coach. And by the way, that Arizona Cardinals coach from Philadelphia will fail because Kyler Murray got all his money and he ain't listening to nobody.
Hey, man, I want to thank you for calling in, my brother, man. I really appreciate you calling in. That was a great call. It was a long call, and that was a call from Eric Bieniemy's Sunday school teacher. He knows exactly what kind of man Eric Bieniemy is. He knows that he's a man of integrity. He knows that he is a man beyond reproach. He would not throw a game because the NFL owner asked him to. And so, yeah, that was in Eric Bieniemy's Sunday school teacher calling from Georgia, man. I want to, like I say, whenever we call in, man, I want to make sure I get everybody an opportunity to speak, man. I don't want to, you can talk. This show is as much about you as it is about me. When you call in though, and you want to talk, you can talk, man. But when I say something, I need you to pipe down so that we can have a conversation. This is not a call-in show where you can just give a damn monologue for 5 minutes and then I just listen. That's not what this is all about. You can log on YouTube, go live, and you can have that anytime. But when you call in here, I want to have a dialogue. I want to have a conversation. I want to give you time to ask me questions, and I most certainly want to ask you questions. So that's the kind of flow I want to have on this. And again, if you want to have your monologues and all that, that's fine. But break them up into 2-3 minute increments at least, man, so I can at least get a word in edgewise, man. So let me go ahead and move on, man. There's a couple other things that I wanted to talk about. But the guy talked about something very interesting, and this is something that people bring up all the time. And I want to, this is not something I plan to talk about, but when you talk about gambling, right? People always say games are rigged. This is rigged. I'm going to tell you how you can win money gambling. This is the easiest way to win money gambling. I need y'all to listen. This is how you win money gambling. If you simply just bet against the public, if you just simply bet against the public, you will win more times than not. Think about that. You can go look this up on Google. Go Google it, right? Go Google it. If you just simply what's called fade the public, if you fade the public, right, you will win more times than not. Why do you say that? Because the odds makers have more information than the general public does. Think about what I said. The odds makers have way more information than the general public does. And information is what gives you an edge in betting. Think about what I said. Information is what gives you an edge in betting. It's not that the games are rigged. It's not that there's a conspiracy. The fact of the matter is, if you're courageous enough to trust the odds makers and go against the public, then you'll win money. You won't win every time because nothing is guaranteed, but you'll win more times than not. That's well documented. That's well documented. But most people are like me. I think I know better than odds makers, the public, Jimmy the Greek, guys that have played in the NFL 10, 15 years. I think I know better, and I go put my money on who I want to go put my money on. And that's what the sports books depend on. They depend on me using my knowledge to go make bets. But people who have inside knowledge, and we talking about odds makers. Odds makers have retired coaches. They have friends in the industry. They have all these people that they gather information from X's and O's to personnel situations. You know, they know everything about a particular game. They know know things about a player personally. They don't know what's going on in his life personally, and they know what's going on X's and O's. They know about a guy's grandmother or aunt dying, and they know about, what position he's going to be playing on Sunday. And believe it or not, all of those things factor into the outcome of football games. All of those factors into the outcome of how players perform. And they know these things. They knew how healthy Patrick Mahomes was when they set the betting line. You remember the betting line started out at 2.5. There were rumors that it was going to go all the way to 3. And all of a sudden it started creeping all the way back down to 1. And probably a tip, it was about a pick-up because they knew the health of Patrick Mahomes' ankle, and that was going to be determined the outcome of the game. So you have to understand that those guys have a lot more information. The odds makers have a lot more information than we do as people in the public. And if you just fade the public, if you just bet against the public, if everybody's betting on Philly, then you bet on Kansas City. If everybody's betting on the Lakers, you bet on their opponent. If you just do that each and every week, you'll win more times than not because the odds makers know better than the public. And see, there's a way for you guys, especially in the SWAC, to get rich. You guys in the SWAC can get rich by betting. How do you think I'm saying you can get rich by betting for the people that know the SWAC? Because the SWAC, the MEAC, all those conferences, all those what you would call lower tier conferences that you guys know in and out, through and through, all those conferences, you guys actually have more information and know more about those teams in those conferences than the odds makers. You have more information than they do. And thus you can outwit them at the sports books. That's just something I want to put on your mind. Like, you know more about SWAC basketball. You know more about SWAC football. You know more about the conferences than anybody in the sports books in Vegas. You MEAC fans, you SWAC fans, you CIA, I mean, you black college football fans, you black college sports fans, you guys know more about those schools than the odds makers. And if you guys use that knowledge and place educated bets on the teams that you know about, you can make money. You can beat the odds makers. And that's what I look forward to doing this upcoming football season with SWAC football, because you can actually know more about SWAC football than the odds makers and the experts. And I just wanted to pass that on to you. Let me see what we're talking about here. Hey, Rocky, did Mahomes get the shot at halftime? We thought that boy without it came out. You know what? I don't know. They haven't. You got to understand that medical information is private, and unless Patrick Mahomes tells you he took a shot, nobody can legally say whether or not he took a shot or not, because that's medical treatment, and medical treatment is covered under the HIPAA laws. So there's no way there. The only way you'll know he took a shot is if he comes out and took a shot. But I don't have to ask whether he took a shot or not. I know his ass took something, and it was more than goddamn Tylenol 3. Because he went in there looking like, his ankle was about to fall out, acting like it wasn't hurting at all. So let me see what this comment is. Hell yes. Didn't see the 30-yard scramble in the second half. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Yeah, he took a shot. He took some type of pain management treatment because the way he was limping when he was going in at halftime, he had to take some type of pain management treatment. But again, you won't know that. Or if he says he took some, he'll say something generic like, "Yeah, I did take some medicine at halftime." You don't know whether it's Tylenol or Toradol or lidocaine or whatever. You won't know exactly what it is. So that's just the situation. You may or may not look. Let me see what it says. It is not illegal to take a pain shot. There's nothing. That is nothing new. Yeah, what I'm saying is, what I'm only simply saying, Bishop Campbell, is that letting the public know is something that he would have to do. The team, the league, the trainers, none of those people can let you know whether he took a shot or not. It's something he's going to have to admit to. He's going to have to open up about what he took. Let me see. He took that hydrocodone. Nah, man, the way he was limping, like I say, he was in a pretty bad shape when he went in, man. Hey, and last thing I want to talk about, man, I want to talk about this. This what before the trade deadline, these were the odds for the NBA championship. I just want to show you this, guys. This was the odds for the NBA championship before the trade deadline. Look at these teams right here. Milwaukee, Boston was up in there. You see who's up there. And these are the odds after the trade deadline. Just think, after the trade line, look at it. Phoenix was nowhere to be seen. Phoenix was nowhere in there. Move forward after the trade deadline, the odds for Phoenix is they have the second best odds to win the NBA championship. Now, I would just think about this though. Think about this. The Lakers were plus 5,000. And if you guys want me to explain, I'll go ahead and explain what these numbers mean, just so you know. This was before the trading deadline, right? So when you see something that says plus 350, what that means is if you bet $100 that the Boston Celtics will win the NBA championship, you will win $350. If you take that same $100 and you bet it on the Memphis Grizzlies, you'll win $1,000. If you take that same $100 and you bet it on the Golden State Warriors and they win the championship, you'll win $1,200. And if you take that same $100 and bet on my beloved Lakers, you're wasting your money because it doesn't look like that old team was going to win a championship at all. But if so happened they would have won, boom, you would have won $5,000 if you bet $100. All right. Now, after you can look and see that the odds didn't change for Boston. However, the Phoenix odds changed quite a bit. Let me look over here at my notes and let me see what the odds were for Phoenix before the trade deadline. Let me see. What were the odds before the trade deadline? Before the trade, the Suns were plus 1,800 before the trade deadline, and now their odds are 1/3. They're 1/3. So just think about it, man. Their odds were cut to 1/3. So if you had a bet on the Phoenix Suns before the trade deadline, you could have bet $100, and if they win the championship, you would have won 1,800. Now, if you bet your $100, you'll only win $450. So just wanted to let you guys know that as well. Again, man, I want to who is your favorite team? And of these teams, this is what I want to ask you guys. After the trading deadline, looking at the odds, who would you take to win the championship? Who would you take after the trading deadline to win the championship? Who would you take looking at these odds? I know who I would take. Looking at these odds, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm gonna take the Golden State Warriors. To be honest with you, I'm gonna take the return. I'm gonna take the defending champions with Clay, Steph, Draymond, and with those young players. That's where I put my $100, and because I believe that's the best value. I don't necessarily think they're gonna win, but when you taking $100 and I put it on somebody, and I want the best value, and I think the best value is Golden State. Who would you put in? I could put $100 on Boston and win $350, or I can put money on $100 on Golden State and win $1,200. Who would you put your money on? Let me see what my man says here. You say the Bucks struggling with our bench right now. Okay, so you're a Bucks fan, and he says we too deep. Yeah. You saying we gonna win? Well, like I say, their odds didn't change when you look at it. Let me go back. Let me go see what their odds were. Their odds didn't change any. What happened was Phoenix's odds increased, right? And just look at these teams. Memphis was completely eliminated from the top 5, top 6 teams. There were teams that jumped in there. Phoenix jumped in there. Who else jumped in there? Phoenix jumped in there, and then Memphis was put out. So, hey, man, this has been a great, great show, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. This has been a great show. I look forward to doing this each and every week. Me and Scotty got to sit down and chop it up now that the Super Bowl's over, and we're going to decide what we're going to do moving forward, man, as far as are we going to go on a hiatus, or are we gonna keep it going, man? Because I could talk basketball, I could talk sports, man. I wish I knew somebody who really knew SWAC basketball as we're approaching the tournament, so we could talk about bets and things of that nature. Because SWAC basketball would be a way for people to really make some money betting. Because if somebody is very knowledgeable about SWAC basketball, they have more knowledge than the sports books, man, and we could really clean up. So if you know somebody who knows a lot about SWAC, men's or women's basketball, tell them to hit your boy up, man, and I'd love to have that conversation with you. This has been Rocky upon further review. Hey, Keisha, my wife be tripping out every time I be stuttering and stammering when I do my promo. But yeah, this been your boy Rocky on Upon Further Review on the Off Script channel. Much love, everybody, man. I can't wait to do this again. Much love, and I'm out.